What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. Manchester United are back in action again in the Premier League. Matchday 29 up against Newcastle United at St James's Park, 8:15 p.m. kickoff tomorrow. Manager is Eddie Howe, and earlier on in the season Manchester United did win 1-0 at Old Trafford due to a Patrick Dogu volley from near the edge of the box. It was a really well taken strike and a good 3 points as well. A clean sheet at Old Trafford. It was a good win. But in the second half, though, we were kind of like up against it, and Newcastle kind of did dominate the second half. But yeah, in terms of some insights for this match, though, Newcastle United have won their last 3 home Premier League matches against Manchester United, as many as in their previous 18 combined. The Magpies last had a longer home league winning run against the Red Devils between 1915 and 1931, which was 10, and Manchester United are looking to record a Premier League double over Newcastle for the first time since the 2020-21 campaign. They won 1-0 on Boxing Day thanks to a goal from Patrick Dogu, like I mentioned, and 36% of Newcastle United's Premier League wins against Manchester United have come under Eddie Howe, which is 4 out of 11. The last Magpies manager to win more league games against him was Joe Harvey. This was where he won 6 games between 1969 and 1973. And Newcastle United have only lost 2 of their last 20 evening kickoffs, 7 p.m. or later in the Premier League, winning 11 and drawing 7, going down 2-0 to West Ham in November 2024, and 3-2 to Liverpool in August 2025. Newcastle have lost each of their last 3 Premier League home games, losing more consecutively at St James's Park between August and October 2018, which was 5. And finally, Manchester United have recovered 9 points from losing positions in the Premier League in 2026, more than any other side. They have only lost 1 of their last 8 league matches in which they have fallen behind. In that, we've won 3 and drawn 4 after having lost 10 in their previous 13 when trailing beforehand, which was 3. So yeah, in terms of some recent form for Newcastle, they, like I said, in terms of their home form, they're coming away. They've lost each of their last 3 Premier League home games, which isn't great. They lost to Everton most recently 3-2. They did beat Karabag in the UEFA Champions League playoff legs. They beat them on aggregate 9-3. They won 3-2 at home, and then they beat them 6-1 away from home. They lost to City away from home. They beat Aston Villa in the FA Cup 4th round. But they lost to Tottenham away. They won against Tottenham away. They lost to Brentford at home as well. So there's some recent form for Newcastle. Not really looking good in the league in terms of their league form. So league form, not looking great in terms of recent form, unfortunately for them. But in terms of some new team news for Newcastle United, Krath, Shaw, Livramento, Bruno Guimaraes and Miley are out injured, so they are going to be unavailable. So this is my Newcastle United predicted 11. Pope in net, Trippier, Malik Chow, Byrne, Hall making up the back 4, Ramsey and Tonali making up the 2 defensive midfielders, Elanga, Waltemada, Joe Linton making up the front 3 in behind Gordon. So this is the same starting 11 that Newcastle fielded in their previous match in that 3-2 defeat to Everton at home. So I think it's going to be the same starting 11, maybe a couple changes, but this is the 11 that I've gone for. But yeah, in terms of Newcastle attacking in possession, number 1, they build from the back with structure and patience. Howe likes to start attacks through the goalkeeper and centre backs, encouraging short passes to draw pressure and open spaces higher up the pitch. Number 2, midfield control and tempo management. A double pivot or staggered midfield directs play, linking defence to attack while helping control the pace of the game. Number 3, wide rotations and overlapping fullbacks. Fullbacks and wide attackers rotate intelligently. Fullbacks sometimes invert or underlap, creating overloads in wider zones and stretching opposition defenders. Number 4, structured attacking combinations and patterns. Newcastle used interchanging positions, third man runs, and overlaps to break lines, often aiming for cutbacks from wide areas into the box. And number 5, transitional verticality or direct progression when space opens. So once possession regains control, the team looks to advance vertically with passes or carries, exploiting opponent disorganization rather than endless circulation. So that's Newcastle. Therefore, you're attacking with possession. So defending without possession. So number 1, aggressive pressing and triggers from the front. The forward line initiates pressure. Centre forward and wingers block inside channels and force opposing build-ups wide. Number 2, compact midfield to protect central space. When out of possession, Newcastle often shape into a 4-5-1 or a 4-1-4-1. Midfield compactness helps deny central passing lanes and shields the defense. Number 3, flexible pressing height. So Howe's side varies between a high press against teams playing out from the back, and a mid to low block when opponents can bypass pressure, often retreating to protect central zones. Number 4, collective unit shifts and narrow defense. Lines move forward, becoming narrow to limit central penetration and funnel opponents wide, where it's easier to defend or win the ball back. And finally, number 5, risk management and transition defense. So despite aggressive press intent, losing possession high can expose space if counter pressure is imperfect. A noted structural risk this season, meaning the team must quickly reorganize into a compact shape to limit fast breaks. So in terms of Newcastle star man, for me, I'm gonna have to say it's Sandro Tonali. He's got a midfield engine and ball winning influence. He excels at winning possession midfield, makes numerous ball recoveries and tackles that help Newcastle trigger fast transitions. Deep line playmaker and with tactical awareness. So positioned often in a deeper role, Tonali combines defensive duties with intelligent distribution. His vision and passing help control the tempo and link defense to attack. Number 3, versatility and adaptability. So Howe values Tonali's tactical flexibility. He can function either deeper or slightly higher depending on game demands. He is disciplined and adaptable, able to control space and maintain team balance in different in possession and out of possession scenarios. So, and that's Newcastle for you. That's what I've got to say for Newcastle. I think that, I think they're a decent side. I think they've got some decent players in there, but they've not been performing well in the league lately. I think they are like bottom half of the league, so they're not having a good season. Like last season, of course, they did qualify for the Champions League by finishing inside the top 5. I think they finished 5th, if I remember correctly. I don't remember right now, but they did qualify for the Champions League. So they've had a really large drop off this season, and I think Newcastle fans are a little bit unhappy with Eddie Howe's performance. But yeah, that's for Newcastle for you. In terms of Manchester United, let's speak about United a little bit. So we are coming away with a 2-1 home victory over Crystal Palace. Palace took the early lead, but momentum did shift. They took a shock early lead through Lacroix's header, but the game turned after his red card for hauling down Matheus Cunha, which led to a penalty decision. United fought back through Bruno Fernandes, and we were awarded a penalty after the red card incident, and Bruno Fernandes converted confidently to level the score just after the hour mark, and then Sesko sealed the win. Benjamin Sesko headed in the winner 8 minutes later from a Fernandes set piece, completing the comeback and moving United up to 3rd in the Premier League. So there was a good win for us at home against Crystal Palace. I think the scoreline should have been a little bit more. We should have been a little bit more attacking. We should have kind of, taken the game to Palace a little bit more. I think we did have 20 plus shots or something, but we need to be kind of winning these games, especially when they're down to 10 men. Like, we need to be really winning them 3-4-5-0, 3-4-5-0, or 1 in this case, because Palace did score, but unfortunately wasn't quite to be. But happy with the 3 points. Unfortunately, the goal that we conceded was Lenny Yoro's fault, unfortunately, but it is what it is. But in terms of United team news, De Ligt, Mount, and Dogu Martinez are out with injuries, and Maguire and Shaw are also doubtful for this match as well. Shaw did go off early on against Crystal Palace, and I've read somewhere in the team news that Maguire is also doubtful. So I think Maguire's got illness or something like that. What I've seen in terms of on FootMob. Yeah, it says here Maguire's illness, so he's doubtful for the match, and Luke Shaw's illness and doubtful for the match as well. But Luke Shaw was kind of taken off in the early on in the first half after he sustained after he hurt himself in a challenge. So Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire are going to be probably missing this match. But yeah, let's take a look at my United starting 11. So this is my United starting 11 that I've gone for. It made a couple changes because, I think, like I mentioned, Maguire and Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw are probably going to be missing out. So I've got Mazraoui right back. Lemens in it, of course. Mazraoui right back. Lenny Yoro and Aiden Heaven making up the defensive midfield. Making up the two centre backs because Harry Maguire and Lisandro Martinez are out. Dalot at left back, and then it's the same kind of front five, double pivot of Mainu and Casemiro, front three of Cunha, Bruno Fernandes and Mbeumo. Then up front you've got Benjamin Sesko as well, who's in a really good run of form right now. But yeah, that's my United starting 11. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ahmad in there, possibly for Sesko. I'm not quite sure how Michael Carrick is going to be setting up. But that's the starting 11 that I would like to go for. I don't really necessarily want to drop Sesko. I wouldn't necessarily mind seeing Ahmad in for Cunha and then, put Mbeumo on the left wing and then put Ahmad on the right wing, but keep Sesko in there because Sesko's on a really good run of form right now. He's scoring loads of important goals for us, so keep Sesko in there. But yeah, in terms of United star man, I'm going to have to say it's Benjamin Sesko this time around. I think I said it last time as well, but he's on a really good run of form right now in terms of scoring really important goals for us. If I have a look, he scored the winner against Palace, he scored against Everton, he scored the equaliser against West Ham. He scored the winner against Fulham as well. So he's been performing really, really well lately. And hopefully, long may that continue. Hopefully he kind of carries on bagging goals and pushes up, scoring important goals and pushes up higher up the league table. But personally, I don't think we're going to be finishing, above third. I think that City, I think Arsenal and Man City are going to be basically, in the top two positions. So I think third or fourth is where we are most likely going to finish. And yeah, like I said previously, when Michael Carrick took over, I was generally thought that we wouldn't be getting Champions League football. That was just my feeling at the time. But results, they've been really, really good since Michael Carrick's taken over, and they've kind of changed my opinion. And I think that, we should be getting Champions League football now. We've got 10 games remaining. Take a look at the league table in just a minute. But yeah, in terms of how do you beat Newcastle, so number one, play through around Newcastle's press. Newcastle press aggressively under Eddie Howe, especially from the front. United must use quick one-touch combinations centrally, drop a midfield between the centre-backs to create a 3v2 build-up, avoid slow sideways passes that trigger pressing traps, and breaking the first line cleanly will open space behind their midfield. Number two, target space behind the fullbacks. So Newcastle's fullbacks push high in possession. Quick diagonal switches and early balls into channels can expose the space behind overlapping runs and isolated centre-backs defending wide. Fast wide players making outside to inside runs are key here as well. Number three, disrupt Tonali's rhythm. So Sandro Tonali is the tempo controller for Newcastle. United should assign tight central marking when possible, cut passing lanes rather than chasing, force them into rushed vertical passes, and if their midfield loses control, Newcastle lose structure. Number four, win second ball. So Newcastle are strong in duels and transitional moments. United must stay compact around aerial contests, have midfielders ready to attack loose balls, avoid being stretched during long phases, and dominating second phases prevents Newcastle building momentum. Also, number 5, finally, be clinical in transition. Newcastle commit numbers forward, and when possession turns over, attack immediately, play forward early rather than recycling, and target the centre-backs before they reset shape. Quick vertical counters can punish their aggressive structure. So finally, another thing that I'll mention, that I keep mentioning as well, clean sheet. I think we've struggled defensively all season. Only 5 clean sheets against Newcastle, against Sunderland, Newcastle, Man City, Spurs, and Everton. So I think that Newcastle have a couple of dangerous players who can hurt us on the break, with the likes of Barnes, Gordon, Murphy, these types of players. I think they can possibly hurt us on the break, so we have to be careful of the counter attack as well. So hopefully we can kind of come away with the 3 points. But yeah, that's how you beat Newcastle. So finally, let's take a look at the league table. So I'll pull that up for you now. This is the league table right now. You've got a couple matches going on. Everton are leading against the Burnley. But yeah, this is the league table right now. United sitting third after that win against Crystal Palace, pushing us up into third, overtaking Aston Villa on goal difference. So with a win, United would move to 54 points, comfortably cementing our place inside the top 4, which we really need to be doing. Hopefully we can come away with the 3 points. And then Newcastle, you can see here, not in a good run of form right now. They've lost 4 of their last 5 in the Premier League, only beating Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which isn't an amazing kind of, it's not kind of you don't want to be getting too happy about beating Tottenham, because Tottenham have been awful this season as well. So yeah, Newcastle sit with in 13th with 36 points. With a win, Newcastle would move to 39 points, possibly overtaking Sunderland there, depending on how other results go. But yeah, United, of course, looking to be stretching that unbeaten run that we've had since I think our last loss in the Premier League was against Aston Villa in December last year. So we're on a really good run of form. We are unbeaten in a good couple of games. I don't know exactly the number of games we are unbeaten. So Man United are the only team unbeaten in the Premier League since Boxing Day. So we're on a really good run of form right now, and hopefully that continues. But a concerning stat here that I've seen is that Manchester United haven't won at St. James's Park since 2020, which isn't great. But yeah, hopefully we can kind of come away with the win. I think it's going to be a tough game tomorrow, like as is every Premier League game. You can't kind of take Premier League games for granted, even though Newcastle aren't necessarily having a good season. They are 13th for a reason. They're not performing well. They're struggling right now, and but we should be coming away with the 3 points, and hopefully we do. And that would kind of, like I said, cement us properly inside the top 4, cement our place, and we'll be well on course to qualify for the Champions League if we carry on this good run of form that we are on right now. So hopefully that can continue. In terms of my score prediction, this time I am going for a win again. I'm going for a 2-0 Manchester United win. I'm going for Bruno Fernandes and Sesko to score the goals. And yeah, hopefully Manchester United come away with all 3 points, a clean sheet as well, and a good performance. But like I said, I think the most important thing would be the 3 points, never mind the performance or the clean sheet as well. So yeah, hopefully we can come away with the win. Anyway, if you enjoyed this preview, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you after the match.